Ordinarily, I cannot abide mockumentary-style films and fly on the walls. I find them so jarring and also a bit of a cop-out. There are some that are done very well, but mostly I just feel like instead of just telling to the camera the message we're trying to get across, show me through some creative writing and an interesting narrative. I feel like it is usually quite a lazy way of portraying a message. But with Authors Anonymous, because this is about a writers group, me being an author, I instantly felt some resonance with it, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say it's the best film I've ever seen, but because I had that instant connection with it and really enjoyed a lot of the characters in it, and I'll talk about those in a moment, I actually kind of often forgot they were making a mockumentary. So it is about this writers group. They are, at the time of the opening, an amateur writers group. They all gather once, however, monthly, frequently, I don't know what it was, and read their recent pages and ask each other for feedback. Pretty standard. And then one of them actually gets quite a bit of success. They get an agent, they sell the book to the publisher, there's talk that they may even be able to sell the film rights, and suddenly, well, you can imagine, there is jealousy among the group, and I will say, I won't tell you who it is. I think the description on IMDb, if I remember rightly, does actually tell you which character gets the success. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm not going to tell you who. Because if you watch this film, and I suggest you do, it's on Amazon Prime. If you like films about writers, I think you'll enjoy it. But I think it's quite fun trying to work out who is going to get the success. Because I knew that that's what it was about. I couldn't quite identify which character would be the one who would be the first to get the agent and the publisher and so on. And as this person's success grows, I'm trying to work out if I've used their pronouns at any point to give part of it away. If I have, I apologise. As this person's success grows, obviously the attitudes in the group begin to change. And there are all kinds of characters. There are some who are very talented writers and have a deep passion for the written word, and yes, they want to get published, but they don't want to do it for the fame. They genuinely love writing. And then there are those who maybe don't care about the writing so much and just want to be, a glamorous, successful, published author, because being an author is glamorous. Not so much. And then there is a character. And I'm going on about the characters because it is very character-driven. The narrative itself is quite simple. One of them becomes a bit more successful. The dynamics in the group begin to shift. And it's all about the characters changing attitudes to one another and revealing their true colours as well. And my favourite one, and again, I won't say who, my favourite one is the one who decides to self-publish. Well, that's not true. They decide to vanity publish, which is worse. Now, some of my novels are professionally published. Some of them are self-published because I like that creative control. Vanity publishing, no. That is where you pay a company to publish you. And that is, no. And that's very much highlighted in this because the book they get is partly in a different language and the cover is not what they asked for. I found that very funny. In this character in particular, I loved to hate. I found their development, their increasing frustration, really fascinating. And I think if you're a writer or an artist or an actor or anything like that, you will know somebody like this, who exaggerates their successes, takes the quick route, is probably talented, but likes those shortcuts. And I thoroughly enjoyed the characters in this. So the narrative may not be the juiciest, and the fact that it was kind of a mockumentary where a production company was making a documentary about their little writing group, it's not necessarily in the forefront. There are scenes that are filmed outside of that. The only time you know it's a mockumentary is when they're sitting talking to the camera. The rest of the scenes are filmed like a normal film with the fourth wall unbroken. And then it makes it kind of easy to forget. And then when they do bring in the mockumentaries, yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but it's not overly abundant. I really thoroughly enjoyed Authors Anonymous. I really didn't know what to expect, but it's fantastic. Was released in 2014, directed by Ellie, written by David Congalton, and stars Teri, Polo and Kaley Cuoco and Klein and a whole host of other great names, Dylan Walsh. I'm really, really, really pleased with it. I finished watching it and thought, I feel the most inspired I have done in a long time. So if you're going through some writer's block, definitely give this a watch. I think there's a lot in it. Definitely a lot in this that you could benefit from.